Thursday Night Football, one sleep away. Welcome to GMFB. We're live in New York. Come on in, hang out with us. Don't go to school or work or any sort of social responsibilities today. Just hang out with us. My name's Kay, Nate Burleson, Peter Schrager, Kyle Brandt, all accounted for. Time for Lead Block.
Lead Block.
A good one tomorrow in Seattle. Rams and Seahawks facing off on Thursday Night Football. A battle of elusive quarterbacks an elusive quarterback and a guy who took his team to the Super Bowl a year ago. They've got great pass rushers. So with more on Russell Wilson and Aaron Donald and their history, let's kick it off and start with our very own Steve Wyche.
Well, good morning, Kay. We know that reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald, 10 tackles, but just 1 sack to start the season. These aren't the type of numbers many were expecting out of such a great player. But you know what? Donald gets to play the Seattle Seahawks Thursday night, and this is a team and a quarterback he loves to feast against. Last season, Donald had 3.5 sacks against the elusive Russell Wilson, and he had 6 tackles for loss against the Seahawks in 2 games last year. And when it comes to Russell Wilson, there's not a quarterback Donald has sacked more in his career. 10.5 times he's got Wilson to the ground. Now, Rams defensive coordinator Wade Phillips said that's in large part to besides the greatness of Aaron Donald, it's his speed. He can split the double teams, he can catch Wilson, but not only can he get up to him, he can tackle him. And he said the open field tackling skills that Aaron Donald has for a big man, that's just another great element to Donald's repertoire.
10.5 sacks is a lot. Thanks so much, Steve. After the Rams lost to Tampa Bay, quarterback Jared Goff said overall the team is fine. He reminded everybody, hey, we're 3-1 going into this Thursday night matchup. Do we agree with Jared Goff that things are fine, or do they feel a little funky out in L.A.?
No, they're fine. You know, as much as I want to panic, I want to sit here and say, oh, well, you look at the rushing yards by Todd Gurley, look at Jared Goff, and the offense isn't flowing that well. Even defense, they've given up some big plays. With all that said, a quarter way through the season, they're sitting at 3-1. So as much as I would like to panic, there's nothing in me that can, because the football player in me thinks, if somebody said, hey, Nate, first month of the season goes by, and you're sitting at 3-1. I'd take that 9 times out of 10.
Do I think they're fine? I think they have the potential to be fine, but for whatever reason, we're now 4 weeks into the season, Kay, they don't start the game until the second quarter. They have been horrendous in the first quarter. They have 6 total points in the first quarter through 4 games combined, 6. So what does that mean? It means they're either not getting fired up before the game, that they're being out-coached in the first quarter when the games are scripted, or it takes them to get bloodied a little bit before they get going. Good teams, you can't just always expect to come back from 21 points. They were down in every one of these games when they just couldn't get started early. So to me, that's the major concern. And if it is something of changing the pregame ritual or changing how we get started, like, it's got to happen now. The season could get away from you, because next up, it's not an easy run. You've got the Seahawks in Seattle. Then you got this 49ers team that suddenly looks like world beaters on defense. So I'm almost not as concerned with win-loss tomorrow with the Rams as first quarter score. Just don't get shut out and don't put up a goose egg in that first quarter. Come out hot, and then let's see what happens. Sean McVay is very good. I don't know what's happening in these first quarters of these games.
They lost a couple of offensive linemen. We know Saffold's out, Sullivan as well. This offense, to me, is at its best when they're running the ball with Todd Gurley and through Todd Gurley. Is that you guys seeing that out there?
Glad you brought that up. Issue. It's exactly what it is. Because you see, he had 2 touchdowns last week. We had 16 yards. And sometimes you get outside the X's and O's, and you just look at the player themselves. I want to show you guys something. Let's look at some Todd Gurley from 2018 when he was taking over the league. Every single week was a party, especially after he scores. Look at this. He's on the road in Seattle, talking, pointing, feeling it. Best player in football. How about this one? This is also on the road, San Francisco. Doing the jump, doing the LT, free, loose, loving it.
Smile on his face.
Let's look at this year. All right? This is him last week. Great run, gets in the end zone. Look what happens afterwards. All the teammates are saying, yeah, we did it, Todd. Helmet slaps, everything. It doesn't look like in the same juice in any way. And to me, that looks like an athlete who is doing his best and who is fighting it. There's no flick of the ball. There's no celebration.
Is it apathy? Like, what is that to you? Just dejected? Like,
working hard, not feeling great, not feeling it. The whole look good, play good is missing with him. That juice that he has, it wasn't just with the ball. It was after he scored. Todd Gurley's mojo is not there. And I don't know how his knee is. I can't speak to that. But there's something missing with him because, Kay, you're completely right. Love Cooper Kupp, love all these guys.
Yeah.
This team is girly. And if it's not, then McVay is making it over on the fly because I have not seen number 30 yet who ran them all the way to the playoffs last year. It's missing. There's something missing with him.
Goff is tied for the league lead, also with 6 interceptions. I just wonder, does this look like a Super Bowl team? Like last year at this point, they looked like they were going to make a run going into Week 5.
They didn't against the Panthers. They didn't necessarily against the Buccaneers, but there were moments in that Saints and the Browns game where their defense absolutely dominated, and then Cooper Kupp was just getting it going. They've had their moments where they look good. Like Nate said to start this, they are 3-1 and they're defending conference champions. They still are in a good position.
Totally.
They know they can do this. But Thursday night comes fast, and if Seattle puts a waxing on them, then we can have actual questions.
And that expectation is that not that they get to the
Sure.
Super Bowl, that they win it here in 2019. More on the Rams, their head coach Sean McVay's coaching tree. It's expanded, not even just the youth movement, Triggs. We're going to get to that right now because so far this season, the Bengals